Is that it? We're on. Hello, everybody. Welcome to Invisible Ray's abode. This is my drum. This is where I live. This is where I have sex with my beautiful wife, Mavis, when she lets me, which is about once on my birthday, usually. No. Me and my wife, we do it all the time, man. I'm a highly sexed guy, highly sexed. She knows it. She knows it. When I'm going down the road and I see a bird with a nice pair of tits, oh, I'll tell you, I'm like that. And she goes, "All right, you've had your 3 seconds. Eyes front." But I mean, if she sees a handsome-looking guy and she's drooling all over him, and I'll tell you what, the guys she usually goes for, well, they're not invisible for starters. But I mean, what can I do? It was her fault. It was her fault. Well, there's two people watching. Speak, people, because I've got very exciting news for you today. And if you're fucking Rosie O'Donnell, suck my cock, first of all. But anyway, listen. I've got to get this out of the way because some people they might not want to stay the distance to hear everything that your president, Invisible Ray, is saying. But what I have got to tell you is very important. Um, I have decided because I'm coming to the end of the Beatles albums now, and I'm thinking to myself, what can I do now? What can I do? Because I've looked through the solo career of the Beatles, and I could do a John Heaton, and I could just I'm going to talk about every record going from the Beatles, but it ain't worth it because you're just pulling away instrumentation, and us hardcore fans, we're not into that bullshit. We're into does it sound good? I mean, that's the bottom line. You have to distance yourself from this bullshit of well, it's Paul McCartney, so I'm gonna like it. I'm gonna listen and listen and listen until I like it. But I always say nowadays, um, listen to what was around at the time, and was there a better song in the charts at the time than No More Lonely Nights? And you can bet your bottom dollar. And I love No More Lonely Nights. Don't get me wrong; it's got a 10 out of 10 for me, and the play out version. But maybe that's a little bit of nostalgia. Maybe if it wasn't, say it was Lionel Richie had sang that song, I don't know. Maybe I don't know. Maybe you do a better job of it. But it's a classic in my opinion. But was it 50 times better than some of the songs that were going on in that particular year? Now, 84 was a bloody good year in music. I listened to some of that stuff earlier on and I thought to myself, yeah, you know what? I really dig this music. This was the biggest break since rock and roll, I think. Because I think the Beatles kind of floated from rock and roll and Epstein kind of tidied them up and made them presentable, but they still weren't like the sort of groups you'd get on TV at the time. These were educated people who were, been to music college and everything, and they turned up, spiked their hair up a little bit. Your Tommy Steeles and your Cliff Richards. Who's that? Record Crate. Yay! Hey, North Carolina, Raleigh. You call it Raleigh over there, don't you? Well, I'll tell you a story about an Irish prostitute, and she was called Haley Royley. Now, she got me put in arrested because she said I beat her up. Now, I didn't, and I said, but what I did do was because she drank a whole bottle of vodka around my place. Well, I went to work in the afternoon, and anyway, by the way, just when I say Irish prostitute, I don't mean I was, I was her friend. I was a friend of hers, and I wasn't really doing much with her. I wasn't. But she liked me because I wasn't, trying it all the time. Because some blokes who around her like fly around shit or bees around a honeypot, you might say. Yeah, because she was honeypot. She was a honeypot. And anyway, she drank a whole bottle of fucking Smirnoff round mine, not just a bottle, a litre. Now I've been gone to 2 o'clock till 5 o'clock, and I've come back and she's on the floor. Oh my god, and her eyes were spinning around. So I says, "Listen, I'm going to get you an ambulance," because it looked like she was sort of having a fit or something. So I said, I'll get an ambulance. I got an ambulance. Anyway, the ambulance said come around and da, da, da. And when she come back a couple of days later, she said all the ambulance men were saying, "Oh, what happened round there?" And I said, "Well, did you tell them that you had a fit or something, and you drank a whole liter of vodka in 3 hours?" And she says, "Oh no, I didn't say that." And I said, "Oh, I expect you went round and fucked one of them afterwards, didn't you?" And she go, "Oh, well, that's none of your business." And then anyway, I says, "Well, listen," I said, I ain't got time for you tonight, so you better get going." Anyway, she was just leaving, and I thought, I know what she's going to do, because I had a little washing line, and I thought she's going to get all my socks and throw them into the road outside. So I went out there because I knew she was going to do that, and then I saw her and she was spinning around to get these socks, and I said, "Don't you even think about it." And I said, "And by the way, I'm going to see you to the front door." So I went down there, and she goes, "Don't you touch me." And I said, "Go get out of it." And I slammed the door shut. Next thing, about 2 months later, the pigs are knocking on my door, bang, bang, bang. And of course, like I'm on second floor, it's like a spooky gothic building I'm living in at the time. So they're all scared. The police think like I'm a maniac up there. So anyway, they come up second floor, and then I said, "All right, what do you want?" And they said, "Can you stand where we can see you?" I said, "Yeah, of course." And I said, "What's up?" Now, anyway, there was a church at the front, and the police had been round about a month or two earlier, because what had been happening, and I could see this from my apartment, I could see down into the rear of the church hall, and for some reason, two guys um, were chasing 15, 14-year-old boys around the. And I thought, what's going on? Anyway, like I had to, I had to get in there one day because there was a fire door between the apartments and this church hall. So anyway, I went in there, and I found all these guns and things. You know, not real guns, but replica guns. And there was all these crosses and like devils and things like that. Anyway, like I thought this is fucking weird. So anyway, I left, but the police come around a couple of weeks later, and they said, "Excuse me, do you know anything that's been going on in the church?" I says, "Yeah, there's a couple of blokes that have been chasing 15-year-old boys around the room." I says, "It's most peculiar." But anyway, back to the Irish prostitutes. So anyway, out of vindictiveness, she fucking phoned the police, said I assaulted her. The police didn't even come round because it was that night. And anyway, they come round about a month afterwards. Now, she was having an epileptic fit, wasn't she? I hadn't seen her for a month because she hadn't spoke to me. And then next thing, I'm getting a bang on the door. And they said, "Oh, look, you've assaulted her twice." I said, "What the fuck are you talking about?" And then she got in touch, like, they put me in a prison cell and everything. And I said, "I fucking done nothing." And then anyway, she turned up about a month later, because you have to wait forever for this shit. And they said, "Oh, they said, oh, you are guilty." I said, "What are you talking about?" And my solicitor was fucking rubbish. I says, "Listen, I don't want to pay for a legal eagle." I says, "Give me one on the state." So they give me one on the state. And I'll tell you what, don't get one on the state, because they just give you a piece of piss. You just walk in and say, "Well, they can't really do nothing." And then and I had to go in on I had to actually go to court in the end, and she tried to stop it herself. She said, "Oh, I fucked up, I was drunk," and the whole thing come out in, just before we went to court. It said the paperwork, the police interview, and the police coerced her to say this, that, and the other. And even the magistrate at the end, they said, "I says, give me the fucking King James Bible now." And I was up there, and I said this, that, and the other, and my brief was shit. And the magistrates, they said, "Well, he hasn't done nothing." And her brief said, "Oh, why have you said that?" They said, "Because we believe him and we don't believe her." See, Invisible Ray has always been an innocent man. There you go. Anyway, let's just see who we got. I'm sorry for ignoring questions. I had to get this story out, and I've got more stories to get out. All right, Record Crate. Yeah, what's the? Yeah, wait for the news. Blood Vessel. She was fucking hell, man. No, she was from. Was it Limerick? Could have been Limerick because she called herself Shannon. She called herself Shannon. That's really weird. You should say that. I think she was. And I'll just give you a little bit of history about Invisible Ray, because you know my mum, who's right nosy. She's a Catholic, and she's also very racist. But she is 80 in about a week's time, so I can forgive her a little bit. And she's my mum, so what can I do? She's old fashioned. You know what I mean? Now, and she's got Irish ancestry, and Irish are terrible racist, terrible racist. But I was, oh, what was I going to say about it? Oh yeah, that's right. Well, in 1880, my great grandfather, one of my great grandfathers, came over from County Clare. So it's not Limerick; it's County Clare. But it's some fucking tiny little, and this place was so bad that the English didn't even go there. You know, I mean, it was like this was the place they sent the Irish when they'd had enough of them, when they'd had a rebellion or something. They threw them out into the County Clare, and this is where my mum's family comes from. And I was looking at them, fucking hell, you should have seen what they were living like. I mean, they had farms and shit, but man, it was like fucking stone buildings, isn't it? Christ. Unbelievable how some people live. But anyway, that's it. You know, so there's a quarter of me that's Irish, to be sure. To be sure. Uh, anyway, hang on. Matthew Street, Burn copy of your Mr. Bloodvessel. I'm glad you got it. What's your favourite tunes? I'm gonna do a Egypt Station TJR remix version remastered, because I was on holiday at the time, and I burnt it really quick, and I just had what I had to do it. So I'm gonna make it a far more classier version very shortly, and I will send the prototype to. Hi Tom. Hi Tom. I'll send the prototype to all of ye legends. You know, I mean, especially Tom. You know, Tom. He's in there with Mr. Eminem, Mr. Mayo. It's all good news today. All I'm going to tell you, just got to read the questions. How could she? I wasn't invisible at the time, young man. I wasn't invisible. Uh, uh, it is me, Ray. Why? What's going on? What do you mean? Is this me? Is that you, Ray? Or was you listening to the Irish prostitute story? Oh, Record Crate. I'll leave this up, Record Crate. You can read this shit later on. It's always going to be on the side. I'll leave it up. I don't tear it down until I get complaints, from YouTube and say, do this, do that. And I have to, because otherwise, but we've got to try, guys. We've got to try and be honest and straightforward. And what we got to do in this world, in this life, is make sure that we do our conscience. I sound like fucking Sir Thomas More, don't I? I'll be keeping an idiot as a plaything soon. But I've got to tell you something. This is what I want to tell you. Listen, I've got a whole bunch. Listen, I've got to tell you a little bit of history now, so really listen closely and don't interrupt nobody, Captain Nemo. Right, so here's the story. What time are we on? Oh, they ain't got a clock. But anyway, listen. Right now, I was really obsessed with the Beatles up until I'd say about 1984, and things started tapering off a little bit. But I'd say about by 1981, I had started shifting from total Beatles obedience to listening to what my contemporaries were listening to. Slightly older, slightly young, slightly older mostly, 1964 crowd, John Heaton type people. So of course I was sort of into all that. Of course I was into the punk because my brother was totally punk, and so I got all the music, But I wasn't into that. It's not music. It's just speeded up shit, speeded up bollocks. Usually, like I did. This isn't a good punk example, but I'll give you an example. Dreadful song called Nelly the Elephant. Nelly the Elephant. Remember that one? Anyway, there was this version. It was quite funny actually, but anyway, Nelly the Elephant. And this is what punk rockers used to do. So all they really speed things up, and you think, well, not my scene, baby. And I weren't into the mods or nothing. So when I cut off from the Beatles, I was so into the Beatles, but no, none of my contemporaries were into them, and this wasn't a good time for the Beatles. This was, I mean, yeah, sure, John Lennon got shot, but after that, all right, the man's a legend, and people started taking my Beatles interest more seriously. They knew they could come to me, but before that, nobody was interested. Before John got shot, for sure. And he, but they were more interested when Paul McCartney got Ebony and Ivory to #1, and they was asking if I could tape it for them. Anyway, look, listen. So basically, what I'm trying to tell you here is, I've done all the Beatles albums more or less, and I want to give something back to you, my people. So what I'm going to do is, there were albums that I brought throughout. I might have been going out with a girl at the time, and she sort of swung me towards this shit. Because Whitney Houston, all that bullshit has come through women, and you've got to listen to it in the car, haven't you? And so you get into it sometimes, and you think, well, it's not always bad shit. It's not always bad shit. Don't dismiss Mariah Carey. You know what I mean? These people, I found out, you've got to listen to the music. Listen. It don't matter who's fucking written it. Listen to what you're listening to. Seriously, that's the main thing. And anyway, listen. So I bought all these albums during the 80s and 90s, and so this subject, this project will mostly be going up until about 2006, probably. I didn't really purchase anything after that, but beforehand I was buying albums and stuff. Now we're talking albums, but these might have been a CD I bought or whatever, but we'll call it albums for album's sake, because we've got to keep in the vinyl community vibe, haven't we? Hey, Ross Goodall. Hey. And so this is very important. Now, what I will be doing, and the name of my project will be, and I haven't got the echo, I'm sorry, but I'm live. See, you're watching me, Invisible Ray, right here. And yeah, Molly. So anyway, so what we're going to do is, I'm just going to get a random album, imaginary, because I haven't got vinyl anymore. I haven't got the albums anymore, but I'm going to imagine that I've just plucked a random album that I bought in the 80s for whatever reason, and I'm going to review it. And I'm going to say, and this is what it's going to be called. We are calling it Invisible Ray Presents Vinyl Landfill, Dust or Dump. There you go. I can't say that again, but remember that. I'm going to read the questions quickly because I had to get that off my chest. That's exciting news. All right. Message held for review. Buzzcock show. Buzzcocks is all right. That's not a swear word. What happened to all your vinyl? Well, Mrs. Paul the First. She threw me out of the house, and I had a key on me, so I went back in the house, and then I left, and stupidly I said I'll be back tomorrow for the rest of my stuff, and give her the key, and then she didn't answer the door the next day, and I thought, oh, she's got to play like that, is she? Next thing she says, Oh, she said, I sold all your Beatle collection for £100. And I said, what the fuck did you do that for? And she said, well, because you thought more of the Beatles than you did of me. And it was right. I did. Oh, Mr. Eminem, it's so good to see you here. So glad to see you here. So glad you could come. Yeah, 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 yeah. So glad. Mr. Eminem, carry on, carry on. Da-da. Do you remember that Rocky Straw? All right, anyway, yeah, so that's what happened to all my vinyl. Mr. Eminem, if you've missed any of this bullshit, I will be keeping it up. We haven't said nothing homophobic yet on this channel, so there's no reason that any of the powers that be can take it down. Even if dirty fucking lesbian fucking hoary bitch is watching, here's what I got for you, lady. That. No, that. Yeah. Have you seen Naked Gun before, Mr. Eminem? Frank Drebin. It was so me and my wife, we've been on holiday. Oh, let me just tell you, me and my wife Mavis, we've been on holiday to Eilat. Now it's in the Red Sea. It's in the Red Sea, so it's got all these beautiful fish. Like you remember the All Together Now video on Yellow Submarine, and all them fish are going, and it's just like that. Yeah, the Sea of Holes or whatever it is. It's like that. It was brilliant. Me and her, we were snorkeling and we were down under the sea. You remember that film, The Deep? Me and her, we was like that. We were like, I was Nick Nolte and she was like Jackie Bissett, you know, with tits out and everything. Ooh, and I saw her ass swimming in front of me with her little fins going flippity flappity. And I just wanted to get in between her legs and go, oh, ah. She's so gorgeous, my wife. She's so gorgeous. Anyway, honey, she's a honey, a real honey. Oh, and she's got a great ass as well. I mean, I was swimming behind her. She's such a quick swimmer. She's a very small lady. She's really small. And she swims like that. Sharon Davis. Sharon Davis. Oh, she's nice, isn't she? Sharon Davis. God, she's got a lovely pair of tits. She got a load of abuse because she married a black man. Can't remember his name now. It's so out of order. It's so out of order. Anyway, let's read some of this, Mr. Eminem. No, I don't believe I have. What? Don't believe I have what? Oh, Mr. Blood Vessel, are you still there? Are you still there? Because I'm going to tell you, Mr. Eminem, Mr. Blood Vessel, 6 people are watching me. Ah, jeez. Jesus. Please identify yourselves at once, all of you. Well, 5 of you. Hang on a minute, because I know we've Record Crate's gone. I'm Miss Marple, you see. I'm working this out. We are the famous 5. Julie, Dick and Anne, George and Timmy the dog. Enid Blyton, actually, she's been bad. She's racist. She's fucking homophobic. She fucking hated everything, especially if it was working class. Oh, the most dreadful woman. And she used to beat her kids up. She's as bad as Jerry Lewis. And I used to love Jerry Lewis. And then my mum always had the scandal. You know, I'd say, oh, I really like that actor. He's brilliant. Oh, he's a puff. And that would be it. You know, I'd think, oh, no. I'll never be able to watch. What was his name? I was really upset. Who's that bloke who was on that terrible film, the Alamo, the English one? Oh, fuck it. I can't remember, but I can't waste you people's time because that's not what I'm about. I'm about bang, bang, bang. Fast news, here and now, here and now. Captain, I'm glad you like Captain Nemo. I like Captain Nemo. I've remastered that one actually. I've got it in proper stereo now. It's brilliant. Do you know what? That's a very educational program. And if there's any Canadians out there tonight, people dismiss your nation as a non-nation, but a lot of shit's come from that country that's good. What's his face? Alanis Morissette. I love her. She's got a hairy fanny. I love a woman with a hairy fanny, and she's got good tits too. And a lot of my employers have been Canadian. Englobe, Bombardier, Slish and Sloshin. All these places. I subcontract to these fuckers, and I've never had a problem with Canadians at all. The best thing about Canadians is they're not Americans. And what else was I going to say? There was something else I was going to tell you about. Captain Nemo was a very educational Canadian TV series, and we also used to get the Lumberjacks, which was brilliant. And what else was there? Oh God, Huey Green, Sex Maniac, and hang on, this is the most important one. Professor Kitzel. Oh, I love that show. In 5 minutes, you can watch the Teletubbies for half hour and learn fuck all. But you watch 5 minute show of Professor Kitzel, man. I never fucking heard of John Cabot before. I've never heard about the Canadian fur trade, but 5 minutes later, I'm a fucking expert. It was brilliant. And that's Canadadia for you, you Canadadia. But as that woman in The Good Life said, I've never liked that country since they got that silly flag. And it is a silly flag, isn't it? Oh, do you know, I've run out of booze. Can you just give me 1 minute, you guys? I'm just going to read your questions. But I'll be back, please. I've got a special deal on beer today. 4 cans for 20 pence. Yeah. Anyway, I'll tell you some more about my holiday when I get back. So stay tuned for the exciting news. 6 people still. Yes, Mr. Blood Vessel. I am geared up for the box set, which I'm not going to buy because I've spent all the fucking money I'm going to spend on the Beatles. Well, unless, if I win the lotto tomorrow, I'm going to get all that bullshit and I'm just going to get a whole room like you posh people do. You've all got these rooms and it's all my tribute. And I've actually been around a woman's house before and she weren't rich like Melinda. But she was just, she just had a 3-bedroom apartment. But one of her bedrooms was dedicated to Elvis Presley and Eddie Cochran. And she had a shirt of Elvis, and this was worn on the film. Hang on a minute. It happened at the World's Fair. And also, she had a shirt of Eddie Cochran. And I thought you could let that room out and make a fucking packet and just put these shit in a suitcase. But no, she needed to be in that room to be close to Elvis. And on that note, I'll be back in a minute. But please remind me that I've got to tell you a very important story about, yeah, our holiday. Yeah. So wait there, Mr. Blood Vessel. Wait there. I'll be back. So he said. I'm a human being. I don't mind you coming here and wasting all my time. But when you're standing oh so near, I kind of lose my mind. Yeah, I guess you're just what I needed. Mm-mm. Mm-mm. Ah, remember that? Because he's dead today. Ah. All right. Where's Mr. Mayo? Mr. Mayo, are you watching silently? Are you watching? Come and speak to us if you are. Don't waste your time. Come and speak. All right, listen, I'm having problems seeing my my invisible faces. Hang on. I think I can see now. Oh, here we are. Yeah. Oh, oh. Excuse me. Excuse me. Uh, 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 I'm smiling. I'm smiling, and I'm back. Yeah, yeah, yeah. I don't know why. Is this? Oh! Look, I'll try this angle. All right, I'm trying to read questions. Sorry, I'm late. Yeah, we haven't had many questions, have we? Where are all the people? Where are all the people tonight? Where's Russ Goodall? Where's Phil Walker? Phil Walker. No, I used to work with him. Hang on, look. That's bad. I've got problems. I've got back here. I can't see you. Oh, hang on. Damn you all to hell. Well, I think that's better. What do you think? What? Now, Mr. Blood Vessel. Oh, my holiday. Do you want to hear about Mr. Eminem? If you want to hear about my holiday, I'll tell you about my holiday. Where anyway, look, we was at the Red Sea Resort of Eilat. Now, it's right next door to Jordan, but in Jordan they've got this like amazing wonder of the world type thing called Petra. But of course, my wife, she's Jewish, see, so she don't want to go there. And I says, listen, if they started killing Jewish people at Petra, one, they wouldn't have a tourist industry, and two, we'd hear about it on the news. So I says, maybe we should go to Petra. And she started going on about, oh, it's going to take passport control. I says, look at them cunts over there. They're just getting on board a ship, a ferry, and they're just going to get off and they're wankers. I said, so why have we got to go through loads of paperwork? And she's all like, oh, but she's paranoid. She's paranoid. Yeah, she's like Jerry Lewis. You remember when he was on British TV, got told off because you remember all the Americans really hated Middle Easterns back then. And he's going, oh, he says, I hope there's no Arabs in the audience. You know, I'll tell you, I work with Arabic people a lot, and they're really nice. In fact, they're some of the best people you could get to know. They are. They're all right. I'll tell you what. You just got to respect them, though. You got to respect what they do, and don't disrespect them in front of them. I wouldn't get a can of beer and start swigging it in front of uh, somebody's wife if he was from Lebanon or something. He's a Muslim. It's not right, is it? It's not nice. I mean, they don't waste shit in our face. But it's all we hear about though is the fucking fanatics though, because they're just fanatics. Because normal people they just want to get about their business and have a bit of a laugh, don't they? And we're all the same the world over, even if you live in the Andaman Islands. Anyway, look what we got. Oh yeah, yeah. So anyway, my holiday. And anyway, let's get back to the airport on the last day. Oh, we was having a swim. Oh, it was lovely. It was. I was swimming more. Oh, swimming all over the place. And then this maniac family was about 7 kids and 4 adults, and they just kept like breaking all the rules all the time. They were diving in over people swimming, up the lane. It was terrible, and the kids were just throwing things in the pool, and the poor guard he kept blowing the whistle and everything, and oh, it was awful. And a kid almost landed on my head. when I was on my 8th length, and I was really upset because you know, it ruins your holiday because it was a good vibe going on, and then this lot turned up and sort of wouldn't fuck off out of the hotel. When I'm at my age, I like to sort of hang around the hotel, you know, get to talk to people, you know, be boring, talk about Beatle music. I'll tell you something they all liked in there. When Imagine got put on, there was all they love that one. They love that. Right. Yeah, I heard about all that. Yeah, it's bad news. But who gives a fuck? Do you know? Because the Earth's been here for millions of years, hasn't it? So I'm sure it's just going to carry on going, whether Saudi Arabia got attacked or not. I mean, you know, they could blow up South America and the world will still go. You know, I wouldn't want it to go because there's some hot babes down in the Latin side, isn't there? Anyway, was there any other news I had to tell you? It's really important news. So, remember this: these albums that I'm going to be reviewing are just stuff that I bought along the way, you know, through the 80s and 90s. And what I'm here to say is whether they're worthy of another listen or whether they should just be dumped in vinyl landfill. Because a lot of albums should be, you know, albums do date badly sometimes, and especially, you know, people were telling me about the 80s and how much albums have dated in the 80s, and I can't hear it too much myself. I can hear certain musical instruments from the 80s and I think, oh god, that sounds a bit bad now. Remember on Cuddly Toy, that solo, I mean, that sounds so leave it in the 80s, doesn't it? And you know, that sort of late 80s, it's like a false bunch of horns, but it's obviously a synthesizer, like never gonna give you up, remember. And that is a fucking brilliant song, but to somebody who's what, 18, 20 now, they might think, oh god, that sounds you know, but to me, it'll always be a classic. Anyway, Rob Walker, thank God. I was lonesome without you. And we still only got 6 people. What's going on? There's a conspiracy. Right. Roachford, yeah, Roachford. I bet you like him, didn't you? Lynn Drum Machine. I got one. I've never heard of that, Mr. Blood Vessel. Rob Walker, I've got to ask you some sort. I've got one in my head. I'm going to say, did you like it or didn't you like it? Um, what was that fucking one with Dave Stewart and that bird playing the saxophone? That was fucking shit. But you can say you liked it because I'm not judging you, man. Lily Was Here. That was what it's called. Very 80s sound. It's My Party. Yeah, I like that one. Did you, Rob Walker? Did you like that one? Love that one. Brilliant, brilliant. I love it. I love it. It's my oh, and you know what? You were watching me the other day, weren't you? And I said about people of your age, Rob Walker, if you were born in '64 and all that, you're a bit of a lost generation. And you know, I mean, that bird, Barbara Gaskin, she was well old, wasn't she? She should have, by rights, they should have got some like sweet little 17-year-old to sing that song. But no, they got a bird who probably says her name is Barbara Gaskin. How old are you? 30, 20, you know, it's that sort of thing, isn't it? One It Wonders, yeah. Yeah. Grill, Bear Grylls. Who? Have we got like an old person font so I can see like the question? But trouble is, I won't be able to see myself, and I've got to keep on top of you lot. Hey, keep on top of Kit O'Toole. I know. I'm joking. Listen, Kit O'Toole, I respect your You're a great. You're an intelligent woman. Bit too much on the George Harrison side, but you know, I respect you. I do. I do. I do. And there's not many women I respect. There's not many. If you've got a nice ass, though, you get a free pass. Oh, hang on, hang on. Mm, mm, mm. By royal appointment of the dead king of Yugoslavia. Right. Anyway, an old milf. Yeah. Oh, all views on Patsy Kensit. Patsy Kensit. Do you know what? Yeah. Do you know what? When she was around Rob Walker, and I like that song. I'm not scared. It was all right. And do you know what I like about Patsy? I know she was. She's always talking like that, like she was posh. But she's like Mark Windsor's mum, you know, she'd sort of go like that sometimes. And you knew she was as rough as fuck. And eventually she admitted she was rough as fuck. And I thought, good for you, girl, because, you know, we can't help where we come from and we can't fucking hide where we come from. So be honest and people respect you because you've come a fucking long way considering you have come from Dirt Alley. And that's the only reason. And I can't really respect Cilla Black for that because she really hung on to the coattails of the Beatles to get where she got. But Lulu, she sucked cock at the age of 9 to get where she got. So respect to Lulu, and all the other girls that have done the same thing. And I was looking at some of these old 1930s serials the other day, and some of the actresses that were in that. There was a documentary with it, and they had to go through so much bullshit. And you know, these people are our sisters, and you know when you're in the fucking brothel, lads, and you want to start throwing coin about and like saying do this and do that. Imagine that's your fucking sister, and you just say, "Oh, I just want to have sex, and I'm going to go, and I'm going to give you nice cuddles." You know, there's no harm in that, is there? You see, respect for ladies. So don't think I'm a fucking misogynist because I'm not. But I am with some women, I'll tell you that much. Anyway, where are we? What's going on? Rob Walker, wasn't it? Eighth wonder, not 80 wonder. 80 days around the bloody world, Rob Walker. Who is this Demi Rose? Demi Rose! Demi Moore. Oh, do you know what? Demi Moore was all right in her time, wasn't she? I don't know why we went for that. We went for that back at that particular time. I mean, I look at it now and I think, oh, look at that miserable old bitch. Look at her lot of face crack if she smile, and a stupid little boy's haircut. And I think, no, hang on. Back in the day, you know what I mean? I was tossing off like crazy to it, especially if she was in something. So, oh, G.I. Jane, man. Yeah, no, actually, there was a different point to that. Oh well, yeah, yeah. I could tell you some stories. In fact, I was in Leicester Square once, and we're just off the side. Then there's all these fucking places, isn't there? And this was cheap as chips. It was 10 quid. Anyway, me and my mate Godders. Now Godders, he looked like David Beckham, but he didn't shave for a day, so he looked sort of like sweaty, rugged version of David Beckham. Yeah, you could smell the testosterone off this cunt, but apparently he had a tiny willy. So, you know what I mean? You can't have it all, lads. You can't have it all. And there's me with the old fucking buckle going down. And anyway, we get us in. Of course, we're right at the back of the fucking room. Now, the room's about 30 foot by 30 foot, I suppose. And then imagine a stage in front of that, you know. So you're quite close up, but there's about 10 rows of chairs and perverts sitting on all of it. You know, these guys were old. And I'll tell you what, because they're old, though, they could only take so much excitement. So they were dropping like flies, you know, and we kept moving forward and forward till we get to the front of the stage. Now, I had this really swanky camera with a big lens called the Minolta. It was fucking lovely, a beautiful lens. I thought I'll get some snaps. Anyway, I get my camera out. There's a fucking whip right in my face. Wham! And oh, fucking hell, she go, no photos. And then next thing, I mean, they're down like the underwear at this point. 4 of them on stage, all fucking about. And then they sort of grab me and they says, get your friend on the stage. And so I says, you got to come with me. And he gets on the stage. He's fucking loving it. He's loving it. And they said, pull his trousers down. So I pulled his trousers down. He's got his bare ass in front of these dirty old men that were left. And they start fucking really whacking it. Now his face is dripping sweat. And he's got this sort of painy, sort of pervy grin on his face. Oh, it's so funny. And he goes, I says, you fucking love that. I says, you ain't going to get that for 10 quid. I says, all I've got is fucking whip in the face. But anyway, yeah, who we got? What's going? Full of Ukrainian. No, they weren't. They were English birds. They were English birds. They were fucking nice as well. Tits, arse, a lot. Oh, I'll tell you what. When they got down to the bear business, woo! Well, if I hadn't taken so much cocaine, I would have got an erection. It's the way it goes, isn't it? That's why you end up in these clubs in the first place. It's a vicious circle. It's a vicious circle. Right. Oh, Mr. Blood Vessel. He's gone. What are you going to do? He's a man of mystery. Well, there's only 4 people left. I'm going to go myself, actually, because I'm going to finish my drinks. So that's all I had to say was the news. Remember, just to say one more time, Invisible Ray presents Final Landfill, Dust or Dump. Coming soon. Goodbye.